So I want to go ahead and be straight up with you and tell you that I have probably earned net profit over $3,000. Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad to be here with you today to share a little bit about how I started my Instagram business. This is something that I feel like a lot of people are curious about, and how long it took me to get to the point I am at, which is about, we're right around 2,000 followers. So if you want to help me get there, make sure you follow the account. But yeah, I just want to talk about how to start, how to brand it, how to grow, just some basic tips and steps that I used, a lot of apps that I've used, and some tricks that I continue to implement into the way that I run my business at this point. I have benefited so much from having this side income that I can go ahead and start providing and saving for myself. It also is a job that you can do from home. So like in quarantine, I'm not really having any big issues. And so I think that's another remarkable thing about this business. And so let's get started into the details of it. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is how to open your account. So whether you are going to go on eBay or Depop or Poshmark or Instagram, which is where I am, literally you can do this anywhere. You need to figure out what your brand is, what your username, what your catch is. So I named my brand Thrift Like You Mean It. I thought it was fun, kind of memorable, and that's something that you need to keep in mind, is something that's gonna be memorable and something that people are gonna come back to. Really just bank in on a username. Some people do change their usernames every now and then, but I've seen huge accounts fall from like thousands and thousands of followers to nothing because they changed their username one too many times. After you've done that, make sure you get a logo. I made my logo on Canva and I have stuck with it probably since a month into my account. I had an original logo that I was working with and I wasn't sure about, and then I finally found one that stuck and made me look a lot more official. A couple of tips I can give you guys about logos is remember that you are only gonna be showing your logo unless you put it on every single picture. With some people do that just to make sure that people aren't like taking their photos. If you are only intending to use it for your profile picture or for promotion pictures every now and then, make sure that it's legible from a distance. So that really small circle is not seen at a large volume unless you post it, and so you have to make sure that you can really see what it says and make sure it's recognizable. Also make sure it's crisp and clear. I honestly prefer black and white just because that is just so much simpler and it doesn't get like kind of lost in the chaos. I think there is something to be said about a very simple logo that makes it look really professional. Okay, once you have your account set up, a lot of people do like to wait for their first drop until they have a certain amount of followers. I've heard of people waiting until they have like 250, which honestly makes a lot of sense, because if you have like 2 followers, you only have 2 people who are going to compete for your items, and it's not really going to make you as much money as you want. Definitely build up a follower base, use your resources, and shout out your page on your personal. That's what I had to do. I had to kind of swallow my pride and not get so uncomfortable about it, because it was weird for me to like say like go follow my thrift account, but I had a lot of friends support me, and that's honestly how I still am doing what I'm doing, so thank you guys. Definitely get some followers. Do shout out for shout out. That's a big thing in the thrifting culture. A lot of people will just DM you and say shout out for shout out, and some bigger pages actually do charge for shout outs, but they have thousands and thousands of followers and you'll gain hundreds from a shout out that you pay for. I definitely recommend either one, but doing shout out for shout out not only helps you grow, but it helps you make a lot of friends. Now, once you've gotten your followers and your branding and everything done, you need inventory. So whether you're going to be selling clothes that are already in your closet or clothes that you have thrifted, I think there is so much to be said about a person who can edit a picture well. I actually have a video about how I edit my pictures on my Instagram. It'll be linked in the corner. Definitely go check that out if you want to learn how I personally edit my pictures. Sticking to one thing for a long time, in any case, can really help you grow and help you become more notable. Once you have thrifted your items or gotten your items together, you need to take your pictures. So take your pictures, make sure that they look nice. I have an entire video on this as well. It'll be linked in the corner. Take your pictures, edit your pictures, post your pictures. Whenever it comes to thinking about what's going to sell, you need to be looking at other people's accounts. So like bigger accounts, I prefer to only post things that I know will sell. So big brands are really good to sell, like Lululemon and Free People. Free People honestly always sells. I think there's so much to be said about an account that sells out everything. I don't necessarily sell everything every time, but it's really respectable when people find what their audience likes and what their audience prefers and can really provide for them in that way. So make sure what you're selling is what people people are going to buy or what your audience specifically is going to buy, and then post. So now we come to a little bit weirder of a topic. Whenever I first started out, I hit some bumps in the road that had a lot to do with my pricing. I think I started out a little too high. So I think that is something to consider. If you gradually increase your prices, people will understand the value of the work that you do a little bit more, but don't start out high and mighty because people will see right through that. We do a lot of work. If you can't already tell with the amount of videos that I've made about this topic, we do so much work to make sure that all of these things are together and posted and shipped for the audience, but it is a really hard sell to make sometimes when you're asking $50 for a $2 t-shirt that originally sold for $10. You know, like, it's hard to meet that margin when your audience isn't quite there yet. With pricing, what I prefer to do is I do bids and bins. So there are plenty of explanations out there on my Instagram under my policies tab, where I talk about the difference between bid and bin. But bidding is basically kind of like on eBay, where you just bid and the highest bidder wins the item at the end. So sometimes that'll be 24 hours, sometimes some people do 48, but I personally do 24 hours on bids. And then bins mean buy it now, so that means that you can buy the item at any point. My bins are always free shipping, so that honestly gives people a lot more of an incentive to buy at the higher price. So whenever I go to price my items, my bids are always going to be double what I bought it at the thrift store for, so that I will make 100% profit. That's just a good business model that I've found that works for me, and it's honestly a reasonable price because it will always be under retail value. So make sure that you are selling under retail value, not over retail value, because someone's gonna say, I could go to the store and get this. You want to give people the incentive to buy not only from you, but in order to help the planet, because that is ultimately why we are doing this. So I'll show you an example of caption here. It's really simple. I always explain what the clothes are. I always make sure I have the brand in the caption. That obviously is a big selling point for people. Let's talk about payment. So one big thing for me is I prefer to use Venmo, so I can't use my Venmo balance to end up purchasing the shipping, which I also have an entire video on, which will be linked in the corner. I do prefer for people to use Venmo. If they can't do that, I do have both PayPal and Cash App. It is really awesome to have those resources for other people to use so that anyone can buy your items. And then once I do get paid, I always try and keep that money in the Venmo balance so that I can go out and thrift again and use the same thrift money and put that money back into the business. My last step for you guys is to be patient and have faith. It takes a while. I have only been doing this for a year and I am loving every second of it. It is a way that I can let my creativity flourish. I think a lot of people think the only way that you can give to the environment is running into the woods or stomping around in the grass, and like, I love doing those things every now and then, but this is my way and I love it and I am very proud of it. Be patient and work hard and enjoy the process, because you will not wake up one day with 1 million followers. It is progress over perfection. Make sure that you continue to tell yourself why you are doing this, because if you get discouraged in the middle of it, which I think a lot of people do, I did definitely, you have to remind yourself why this is such a great thing that you are doing, because it is amazing and it is remarkable. And you right now, if you are watching this and you are considering starting a thrift account, do it. Join the community, follow me, DM me, let me know that you want to start a thrift account, and I will always give you a shout out. I will always support you, because we need more people in this community continuing the flow of fast fashion. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was a lot of words and that was a lot of things to think about, but I hope it was helpful. And I hope you guys had a good time listening to it. Definitely go give me a follow on my thrift account. And let me know if this helped you. And if you have any more questions, let me know. If you have any topics you want me to make separate videos on, I will most definitely do that. But yeah, you're doing a great thing. I'll see you next time at the desk.